Hello everyone, welcome to this video on embedding a dashboard in Bold BI. In this tutorial, I will show you how to create a Node.js application from scratch, configure it to embed a dashboard, and run it using Visual Studio Code. This integration provides a seamless experience for accessing and gaining real-time insights. It helps manage data and visualizations in a centralized environment, simplifying data handling, reducing the complexity of analysis, and improving business performance. I've provided a link to the documentation, which includes a sample application for your reference. Let's get started. I've already installed Node.js and Python on my machine to create a Node.js application using Visual Studio Code. Next, I create a folder for the application and navigate to it. Next, I need to add an embed config.json file to configure embedding parameters, authentication, user context, and customization for secure embedding of a dashboard. In the dashboard server, I click Settings, select Embed, and click Enable Embed Authentication. Then click Download. A dialog box will open. I select the Marketing category and Marketing Performance Dashboard. Next, I download the JSON file and add it to the application's root folder. I open the application root folder in Visual Studio Code. I create a JavaScript file named embed.js. In it, I add an API that sets up an Express server with course, handles HTTP and HTTPS requests, parses URLs, manages file system operations, performs cryptographic functions, and express.json to parse incoming requests. I add code to read and parse the configuration from embed-config.json, get the embed secret key, and read the config file and credentials in Bold BI. Then I add an endpoint that generates a signed embed authorization URL using user and timestamp data, sends a GET request to the dashboard server, and returns the server's response to the client. I add the GET signature URL query string that generates a base64 encoded HMAC SHA-256 signature using the embed secret and the provided query string. I add the app GET function that serves the homepage by reading and modifying index.html to inject a JavaScript configuration object and sends it as the HTTP response. Next, I add an Express server on port 8080 and log the host and port it is listening on. Next, I create an HTML file named index.html. I add a head tag with the Bold BI embedded SDK script, enabling embedding and interacting with Bold BI dashboards directly within the web application. I add a body tag with onload to automatically call the embed sample JavaScript function when the page loads, and render the embedded dashboard inside the div with the ID dashboard. I define configuration variables needed to embed a dashboard: identifier, environment type, dashboard ID, embed type, server URL, and the local API endpoint used to fetch embed authorization details. Next, I add an embed function to initialize and load a dashboard into a web page using the Bold BI embedded SDK based on configuration values. Then I create a new file named package.json. I copy the code from the documentation and add it. It is essential to install the packages listed in the dependencies section. Now everything is ready to render the dashboard. I run this command. It automatically downloads and installs all the dependencies listed in the project's package.json file, setting up the Node modules folder so that the application can run properly. Next, I run npm install express. This installs the express.js framework into the application, allowing web applications and APIs to be built easily. Then I run npm install course. which installs the course middleware for Express and allows the server to handle requests from different origins securely. And I run npm install utf-8bytes. This installs the utf-8bytes package, which provides utilities for working with UTF-8 encoded byte arrays. It helps encode, decode, or measure the byte length of UTF-8 strings in the application. Lastly, I run this command to execute the embed.js file, which contains code for handling dashboard signing requests. On successful run, do not close or shut down this command prompt because the host URL will depend on it to render the dashboard. I copy the host URL from the documentation and run it in the default browser. You'll see the market performance dashboard rendered on the browser. You'll also see the status of the request received. If you want to open the dashboard in design mode, change the view mode to design and load dashboard to load designer in the index.html. On browser refresh, you'll see the dashboard load in design mode. In this video, I've shown you how to embed a dashboard in Node.js in Bold BI. If you found this video helpful, click the like button and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching.